Hey friend, grab your coffee or whatever you are drinking today and let's chat. Today I want to talk about something that quietly exhausts so many of us. It's we keep adding to our calendar without pausing first. So if we look at our week and we think, why do I feel so behind? Or, oh my gosh, why am I so exhausted? Or I just cannot feel like I can catch up. I want to give you 3 questions to ask yourself before you say yes to anything new. They're simple, but they're going to protect your peace. My name is Angie. I am a personal strategy coach. I support driven working moms to create rock solid systems at home. So dinner isn't a last minute scramble, kids' logistics aren't chaos, and self-care isn't an afterthought. Instead of guilt and exhaustion, you can finally feel present, energized, and in control of the life you are building while also having time for yourself. If you are joining me on the live, say hi in the chat. If you're catching the replay, I appreciate you watching. Just let me know that you've been here. Okay, 3 questions to ask yourself before you say yes to something. The first one, is this your best yes or a guilt? Yes. And this one takes some real, kind of gut honesty, because sometimes we truly say yes because we feel like we should. I would consider that a guilt yes. Or we don't want to disappoint somebody, or everyone else is doing it, so you kind of feel like you have to do it, right? Or we don't want to look selfish, and of course we're capable. So, I'm capable and perhaps maybe even could do it a little bit better than somebody else. So I should say yes. But there's a difference between a should yes and a best yes. A guilt or a should yes kind of feels icky, heavy, just doesn't really sit right with you. It almost feels forced. A best yes may stretch you. It may feel awkward. It might feel hard. It might feel scary, but it feels aligned. It feels clear, intentional, like, yes, this I am to say yes to. And remember, just because you can do something does not mean it's your assignment to do it. It might not be what is for you in this season. You're not required to say yes to everything because you're capable of it. If that was the case, we literally would be saying yes to everything because we are completely capable at doing anything, correct? So, your best yes. Question 2, do I understand the true time commitment? And this is where we get practical. We don't have to consider any emotions or anything with this. It's just an honest look at the time requirement, because when we add events to our calendar, we add everything connected to that event, even if we didn't know in the forefront what that was. So let's take dance class, for example. Say your daughter wants to take dance and you're like, sure, it's an hour a week and it's, 3 months. I'm not quite sure how long dance is, but let's just say it's 3 months. And so you're like, okay, we'll be committed to this hour a week for 3 months. But in real life, is it really an hour? It does take 15 minutes to drive there, 15 minutes to drive back. Most likely you'll be scrambling for shoes or a leotard or a snack or something before you can even get out the door. So that's another 10, 15 minutes. So really, truly, this time commitment is not necessarily an hour. It's almost closer to 2 hours. And that's if when you get home, she's not all wound up and you kind of got to calm her down before you can do homework or go to bed and whatnot. So if you calculate the real time cost, that's going to be what is going to be required. If you don't calculate the real-time cost, you're always going to feel behind. You're going to think you're adding 1 hour a week to your schedule, but in reality, it's double that. So before you start something new, think to yourself, okay, is there something that needs to be done before or after this time commitment? And maybe it is that you're volunteering for an event and you really only have to be there from 1 to 3, and that truly is a time commitment. Great. 2 hours of your time, if it's something that you desire to do and you feel called to do that, fantastic. That is great. If you're maybe serving on some kind of a parent bored or something like that. It may be that you're meeting an hour a month or maybe 2 hours a month, but is there behind the scenes kinds of things going on? And remember, you have to drive to that event and drive back. So maybe it's 2.5 hours at that time frame. But then are you going to have to be calling people for donations? Are you going to have to be organizing something or cutting out papers or doing something behind the scenes that adds to that 2 hour a month time commitment you thought you were going to have? So make sure to know exactly the true real time that commitment is going to entail, because clarity is going to remove resentment. When you know the real commitment it takes, you can also choose with open eyes instead of frustration. You may be able to do 2 hours a month, and that is totally fine. But then after you dig a little deeper, you find, well, it's going to be 2 hours a month for the meeting, but it really is going to be about 2 hours additional each week for different things that you need to do to participate. And that might not be a good yes for you in the season that you're in. All right, third question. What is this replacing? Now we go deeper, because once you understand that true time cost, it has to come from somewhere, right? We all have 24 hours in a day, and believe it or not, we all utilize that 24 hours in some way. And so every yes has to replace something. It has to. And so what are you going to be saying no to? Now, I mean, there's things that you may find like, hey, you know what? I do have an extra hour in my week. I scroll on my phone, or I watch a show and I'd be willing to give up that show or whatever. And you're like, yeah, it's not a problem to add that, because the things that I'm giving up, I'm more than willing to give up. Or it actually might be something you don't want to get bumped. It might be something like time with your husband or time with your children, or it might be self-care. And all of those things, sorry about the dog. He apparently has lots to say on this topic, but all of those things will leave unintentionally if you don't replace, or if you don't be intentional where you're using this time. So if nothing intentionally is removed, something is still going to get replaced. And again, it's usually your rest or your white space, so you feel further behind. It's time with your husband, something that fills you up and keeps you grounded. And that's really truly when the hamster wheel starts spinning, is when you're thinking, oh my goodness, it's just too much, and all of the peace or the joy is pulled out of your day, and you're wondering what happened. So don't unintentionally sacrifice the wrong things. Overload doesn't happen because we're busy. It happens because we stop choosing what is best for us in that season, and pull things out that are really truly bringing us joy or just grounding us. You are not called to say yes to everything you're capable of, my friend. Being capable does not equal being assigned. Being available does not equal being required. And being invited does not equal being obligated. You get to choose your best yes, and sometimes that best yes is a no. I want you to think about something in your calendar right now, or maybe something that you have been asked to do recently and just haven't said yes or no to it quite yet, and run it through these 3 questions. Is this my best yes? Do I understand the real time commitment? And what is this replacing? Calm doesn't happen accidentally. It happens when you start guarding your yes. So use those 3 questions. Is this my best yes? Do I understand the real time commitment? And what is this replacing? Use those questions. The next time you're asked to do something that requires a yes or a no. Thanks for joining me today on Coffee Chat. I will see you next time.